Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm starting the recording. Uy, Philippines! All right. All right, all right, all right. Welcome, everybody, to another open, free LifeMaxxing call. So if you guys weren't here last month, I did this last month with another one of my friends, Kodakai, and we had to speak about like creating YouTube and what he's doing. And so if you guys don't know what this is, yeah, where's Will at? For real, man. So if you guys don't know what this is a free Life Maxing call. So I host these calls within my own private community weekly, and we talk about anything related to like spirituality, self-development, advice, or just how to create your own life. Because if any of you guys are here tuning into this call, I'm sure you guys understand like learning how to navigate life is just really freaking hard. You know, you spawn in, you don't know anything, and you got to figure out all these rules and all these gimmicks and all that shit. And so with this community, we've provided this safe space where we can all help each other learn and grow together and check in on each other. And there's always, you know, there's the weekly assignments, weekly calls, checking in. I'm always there. And so, like I said, once a month, I've decided to host one of these calls for free live so that anyone here can join in, see what the calls are like, and that you guys can be part of the conversation. And so the whole, by the way, some of you guys are here new to the server. The whole point of this New Earth community is to create a space where we can genuinely help each other grow, genuinely help each other develop, and do it with love. Because I feel like there's a lot of places where there is this community of growth and where everyone's trying to help each other, but it's from this place of like fear, you know, and it's from a place of like, oh, I'm not good enough. So like, it's like, how do we do that from a place of loving ourselves and loving each other and being able to enjoy the process so that we can enjoy life. So with that being said, welcome everybody to the second monthly free Life Maxing call. Today we have the one and only most beautiful girl in the world, Universe. Say hello.
Hello.
So again, my girlfriend and I won't get into too much detail. So real quick before we get started with the call, just want to let you guys know about what the format is and what you guys can expect for this. So first off, I'll be asking Yuna a couple questions, and then after that, I'll let the Life Maxers chime in with their own questions, and then we'll go into basically a free-flowing, open-ended conversation, just so you guys can see what kind of stuff we discuss, what goes on in our minds, and just what the vibe is. And then if there's time at the end, maybe we'll let the public chat ask questions too. Sounds good? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Let's see if there's anyone else who's alive actually trying to join in. No? All right.
Will needs to be here.
Will's got to be here, for real, man. All right, I'll move a sec. All right, so my internet sucks. Wait, how's my internet? Real quick before we get started. Am I okay or am I like lagging? It's fine. It's fine. All right, so I'm sorry, but that's your internet. Yeah, so I guess introducing Universe. The first question that I have for you, just so that obviously you did pop in once here for my community, but for the people who don't know you, who are you and how would you describe what you do?
So I am Yuna. I go by the name Universe as an artist, and I am a music artist slash singer-songwriter. I call it space pop. I don't think that I kind of like made that word the term to describe what kind of music I make, because a lot of people ask and I'm just like, I guess it's pop, like alternative pop. Someone said psychedelic new jeans.
Psychedelic new jeans? Who said that? What the heck?
In
That's
the
so
chat,
good. Wait, really?
Someone was like, your music sounds like psychedelic new jeans, and that feels kind of accurate too. Yeah, so that's the type of music I make, and yeah.
Okay, that's
Cool
kind
to
of
be
dope. And so obviously, to with you being here, there's a deeper like layer. Oh, what's up? Oh, Will's here. What's up?
Hello, Will.
Wait, she's the one who made Fun Little Freaka Bitch? Yes. Come on now. So, with your music, right, this alternative space pop stuff, one thing that I think is really interesting and very attractive to me is that there is a deeper like part of it too, right? Like it's not just like music that sounds good, which is obviously like a really important part, but there is, I think, a lot of messaging with your music that shows not just what you are trying to teach people, but also is almost like a representation of like how you've grown and the journeys that you've gone through in your life. And so another question that I wanted to ask was like, what was it like in your journey of becoming who you are today? And were there like any moments or unforeseen or any huge moments or any like unforeseen moments of transformation that you want to share that went on during your music career?
Wow.
A little,
whole interview question.
yeah, a whole interview question. We got like a whole hour here.
Nice. Nice.
Get in
Get
on this.
into it. Get into it. Um, were there any? Well, first of all, I think, yeah, my music, and my musical journey does really reflect my progression, not just like as an artist, like you've mentioned before that when you listen to my earlier stuff versus right now, like you can, it's really cool to see how much I've not only like evolved musically, like of course like I get better as I do this, but also just as a human being, and how much, yeah, like I've evolved from like I had my sad girl depressed era before, and then I had a transitional moment where I was getting out of it, but I was also questioning like I was like in that in between stage before feeling full of like joy and being able to like really tap into my fullest self. So there was that, and then now my latest project is more reflective of like um yeah, like my most awakened
Girl, you need
self.
some water. Hold on real quick.
Sorry, like I don't know what's up with my voice.
You're good, you're good, you're good.
Yeah, it's like early in the morning here.
Yeah,
so.
like we literally like just got up right now for this. We like slept at like 2 in the morning because the flight here was like really late.
Ha.
Ah!
Okay. Yeah, and like my most recent project, Unicore, is like my most aligned, tapped in spiritual self expressing itself. So it's really cool to me too to see to be able to like document where I was in that moment and to like look back and be like, oh, this is how I was feeling at the time and this is where I am now. So that growth is really cool. I know sometimes like people get embarrassed of their older work as an artist and want to like delete their older stuff.
Oh wait, 1 second. Joy Boy. Your mic is not muted, man.
Mute yourself. Can you
Does he
mute?
know?
Yes.
Oh, Angelix is here. Hold on. Let me pull her up real quick too. What's up, Angelix? Good seeing you. Hello, hello, hello.
Can
All right,
you
yeah.
mute?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see the progression of myself as an artist. And yeah, some people get embarrassed of their older work and delete their older stuff, but I'm just really not like that because I want people to see like where did I start and where am I now, and also for me it's cool to like
Yeah.
go back and see how I've grown. So like that growth is what's really cool for me. So I want to keep that. And then in terms of did I have any like significant moment that, what did you say, like made me who I
Yeah. Any significant moment that made you who you are today?
Her
What
voice
happened?
is so calming, I swear I'm about to zonk out.
You about to zonk out? Zonk out, man. I'm recording the call, so I will post this if you miss anything.
I mean, there were so many moments that led me up to this point. So it's not just like one big moment, but I guess during COVID was pretty significant because that's when I first moved to LA to pursue music, to be like, okay, I'm really serious about this. I want to be in the scene and collaborate with different creatives. So I came with that intention, but that was like 2 months before COVID happened. So I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like I wanted to I was like, I'm finally in this, and everything shut down. I didn't really have any friends in LA. All my friends were like in San Francisco, so I was just kind of like stuck at home. Didn't really know what to like, where to take it from here.
So it must have been a lot.
Yeah, and also like I'm super extroverted, as you know.
Right.
So for me to be just like stuck at home and like not see anyone, like I know it was crazy for everyone, but people are like, "Yo, are you okay? Because you're always out." So that was a lot at first, but that's when I was like, you know what? Like if I'm gonna be stuck at home, I better like make the most out of it. And so I just really started to like make music every single day. I was like, I'm gonna make like one song per day, no matter like what it takes. It doesn't need to be like good. I'm not making it so that I can like release every single one of them, but I gotta like put my reps in, you know? So I was doing like my vocal exercise every single day, and just like from I would say like 7 p.m. after dinner, I would just like get lost in my room and
Wow.
just be so in the zone, like making music the entire time. And I really think that like that phase of me putting in the reps helped me so much in terms of just like developing myself as an artist.
And you can really see it, like as you said, like because you didn't delete any of your past work, you know, you could see how much the growth is, and I always comment on it. And I think it's really cool, because I think especially for us, at least speaking for myself, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so like it's easy for me to get embarrassed of my past work. And so the fact that you still have that whole catalog up for people to see the progress is really cool. And I think it makes it like that much more real, you know, about like your own journey and how you got to where you are. Because when I see people who have like made it, and then I see like them from like long before, it gives me so much hope.
Oh yeah, we love doing that shit. Like we love, for example, Dochi is another artist that
Oh my God.
never deleted her stuff. So people found out about it like a little after, but we went to her YouTube page and we just sorted by like new oldest, and saw some of her like oldest videos
Before they were blowing up on TikTok.
Yeah, and yeah, that shit, like we love doing that. And that's why I don't delete my older stuff, because I want people to be able to see it. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I think real quick, there is one thing that you touched on that I kind of want you to expand on a little bit. You talked about how your recent music aligns more with your most aligned self. Little bonus question I didn't write to the notes, sorry. But like, what does that mean for you to be your most aligned self?
I think especially as an artist, you go through such a multiple like emotional roller coasters like all the time. There's like self-judgment, self-doubt, and like will I ever make it? Is this like a realistic to be thing to be doing? All of these like internal battles that you have to face that no one else gets to see. And so I just had so much of that. And so that's kind of where I was in the beginning stage. And I guess more recently, because I'm also a very spiritual person, or I've like it's that's also like its whole evolution. But because I've been putting in a lot of work in terms of just like meditating every day and really like trying to tap in with my higher self, and all that, I was able to make the latest project from like the most like, okay, what how do I say this? Help me.
Take your time. I think in one way that I would describe it is your most multi-dimensional, authentic self. And not that any previous things weren't authentic, right? But it's like almost, I think, stepping into like vulnerability.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
it was just like most like created from like the most like happy place, I guess, or just very like, wow, I'm in this, and I didn't know I could feel this good all the time. And yeah, it was very much like coming from like wow, like I just have so much like love and joy to share, and I want other people who are going through like their own spiritual journey to like listen to this and yeah, just know that they can also feel this good and all that.
Real quick, do you have, and I know this is a really fucking like a fucked question, but do you
What?
have a favorite song from your recent
Oh my god.
um
I...
do you have a favorite song from your recent project that might embody that, and that might be kind of a big symbol of your spiritual growth or
I
anything that you want
mean,
to share?
okay, I'm glad that you like added more shit
Uh-huh.
towards the end because I can't just say like what is your favorite song. Like, I
Obviously,
can't
right.
answer that. But the song that embodies this the most, it has to be between Angel Digits and Fun Little Freaky Bitch.
Mhm.
Angel Digits, for those of you who don't know, it's very much like I'm seeing angel numbers everywhere. I'm seeing like synchronicities like everywhere. I am manifesting my dream life. It's very much like I'm witnessing a lot of like miraculous things, and it's very much like that vibe. And then Fun Little Freaky Bitch is very like psychedelic almost in a way, where I'm realizing like it's a fun song, but for example, I have like lyrics that say 0 views, every mood is a every mood is a muse. 0 views, every mood is a muse. Meaning that like that came from a place of, oh shit, even if I get like 0 stream or zero like views on my content or music or whatever I'm doing, like that's still like a muse for me. That's still like inspo, and like any mood that I feel, like right now I feel positive, but like even if I feel like anything, like I can like transmute that into like another piece of art. So yeah, I would say fun little freaky bitch.
That's really dope. I think it's really interesting that you pointed out 0 views, every mood is a muse. Because you openly being like, you know what, this might not like, not everyone will like see this, or this won't do like the craziest, I guess, when I'm thinking of like 0 views, right? Um, Despite that, it ended up being like one of your biggest freaking songs, and I think it's because of the authenticity that you shared, and just like it's also just like a freaking like girly pop banger, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, so speaking on that topic of like spirituality and spiritual growth, obviously with this whole New Earth community and everything that we've done, it's about accessing these higher planes of existence, being able to operate life from a higher place of consciousness, you know, being able to navigate life in that way. And that's the way that we've mostly been sharing in the LifeMaxing community. And that's how we've been helping each other, you know, because when you understand that spiritual side of things, you almost understand everything. It's like a little cheat code. And so, final question. And with this being said, also, Life Maxers who are here on stage and are able to speak, if you guys do want to start chiming in and start asking your own questions after this, please feel free. As always, I mean, you guys already know, like, won't be a burden at all whatsoever. The whole point of this is the whole open-ended, flowing conversation that we get to have. So, final question for YOONHA. What are you doing now to continue evolving in your path? And are there any like obstacles or recent activities that are on top of your mind lately in terms of your growth and where you're going?
Hey, someone shouted out Dopamine Girls.
Dopamine Girls
Yeah,
and
I
Fun Little
saw
Freaky
it before.
Bitch.
I love Dopamine Girls too. Anyways, I had to say thank you. What am I doing now? Well,
We've been doing a lot of different things lately on our spiritual growth. But I just wanted to know if there's anything that was like top of mind that you're like, oh, this is what I've been working on. This is something that I've been battling. Because I think everyone here has a shared, you know, I mean, existence to a degree like is suffering. You know, we all have our own different battles that we're going through, our own different ways that we want to grow.
Oh, I got it.
So yeah, there we go. I was speaking that entire time so that she could come up with this freaking
yeah,
answer.
I know you were like, no, it's because there are just so many things that we do to like keep our spiritual hygiene good that I was like, what should I talk about? Um, I think lately what I've been focusing most on is really like trying to like really stepping into where I'm going next, like
Mm.
embodying that like superstar pop star version of me
Mm.
internally before everything shows up in my like external
Uh-huh.
reality, because that is like the cheat code as we talk about, right?
Mm.
And yeah, when it comes to like manifesting anything or creating your own reality, um, it is really about like we've been talking a lot about like how feeling is the secret,
Oh yeah.
and so yeah, how you feel about yourself internally, and um, if you want to become this like I don't know, like let's say like a pretty well-known pop star, then like how would I feel as that person? How would I walk? How would I act? And um, how would I feel about myself? All of those things, like I'm really like embodying that right now first,
Mm.
so that it can manifest itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. I think one thing I did want to share with you guys that I went through recently. Wait, Joe Boy, are you speaking right now? Your mic is like really like quiet. I don't
I
know.
don't
I
think
don't know.
he's speaking
I
to
don't know
us.
if he's speaking. Anyways, one thing I kind of wanted to share with you guys real quick. Something that I went through and like I'm currently going through, and like we were sharing with each other, was understanding that like that feeling is the secret thing, right? So I shared this with you. I feel like before when I was first getting into like manifesting or something like that, I tried to embody that like, oh, how would it feel if I had this? How would I feel if I had that? And I still had that like internal blockage within me of just like a subconscious like doubt, of like a subconscious belief. And so as a result, like those things didn't manifest, you know.
Mm.
But for the past couple of months, essentially what we've been doing is like we've been removing those blockages, and we've someone said she's actually really good.
Actually,
um, actually, yeah, and so after like removing those blockages and removing those self doubts, we've gotten back into that feeling of just like what would it feel like if I got this or if I got that in our desired realities. And what the craziest thing is like all of them have been coming exactly true.
mm-hmm.
So like we had a moment where like we were about to be like a little bit late on a bus, and then we were like, what would it feel like if that bus was still there waiting for us, right? And then we let go of the desire, and then lo and behold, like it's there fucking waiting for us. Or I think another one was like, what would it feel like to arrive at the airport like on time and to be abundant in our time, and lo and behold, like boom, we're just like abundant in our freaking time.
Yeah, and like this takes practice because even as people who knew about these concepts, it's really easy to like forget or still have doubts, like and also it's also about like how much or how long you sustain the feeling. So if we do this for like 1 minute, but then like the rest of our day
Mm.
we're just like filled with self doubt, then like and then you look at that and you're like, oh well, I tried for 1 minute and it didn't work. Duh, like you know
Mm.
what I mean? Like this takes practice. So I don't want anyone listening to this to think that like, oh, like that's it just doesn't work for me, or like it's too hard. um yeah, it's like the concept is easy, but you gotta like any for anything else, like put in the reps to
Mm.
um yeah, to get good at.
Yeah, and also too with that, right, with manifesting, quote unquote, right, it's like just to share for the people who don't have a great like understanding of it, it's like shifting internally to that degree of being the person who has what you want. But I think, and it's easy to do that at any point now, right? But the hard part is I think really holding on to that frequency for as long as possible, to the
Mm-hmm.
point where the 3D reality starts to catch up to you.
Yeah, there's like so many things we can talk about for manifesting. I mean, I know we want to focus on creativity, so we can do that, but
Oh, you can talk about whatever the fuck you want. It's an
okay.
open-ended question at this point.
Okay. I was gonna say another thing that I find helpful for manifesting is um, like you kind of have to widen your comfort zone for what you can believe in, like little by little. So for example, like if you are like, well, then if manifesting really works, then I want to have like $100 million tomorrow. Like let's just like go for that, right?
Yeah.
You don't really believe that you can. Like I mean, maybe some people get gotten to the point where like they believe that, but if you say something like that and you have like $0 in your bank account, like most likely you're gonna say it and like not believe in it enough to actually have it
And
show up in your reality.
you have the blockage, right?
Right. So
Just to chime in, sorry, but there could be, right, like people who do exist who have held on to that frequency so long that they know it to be true, right? And that's where you find these like quote unquote millionaires or billionaires or whatever, and they're like manifesting like, oh, like I can have $1,000 more in my bank account tomorrow, and poof, like it happens, right?
Yeah, and then yeah, because one phrase that we've been using a lot is like, oh, of course, for like anything that manifests, we're really trying to like normalize it like happening for us like all the time. So like something amazing will happen, and instead of saying like, oh, I can't believe this happened, this is crazy, we say like, of course, and we
course.
like really get into the mindset of like receiving it as like, oh, of course, like we got that, but not in like a we're still like super grateful for it, but it's very much like, oh, of course, like thanks universe, that type of mindset. So yeah, just like around that, I think a lot of people talk about this, like it's important to kind of like figure out like what how far you can like push your boundaries of belief, and then see like, okay, like manifesting like random $10 tomorrow, I can believe that, so like let's go with that first, and then if you can really get into that like feeling good about it state, then that's way more likely to happen than like going somewhere like where you can't even believe it.
I think that is so important that it happens gradually, and to just like slowly raise that belief. But I think most importantly, it has to happen consciously. Like it really has to happen consciously. We've been looking a lot of at a lot of like Carl Jung stuff, which by the way, like chat, in our private community, we've been using Carl Jung's A Man and His Symbols. So he's a psychologist to help us interpret our dreams and better understand ourselves. And like this guy is so freaking goated. And so, sorry, excuse me. One of his quotes is like, until the unconscious becomes conscious, it will dictate your life and you will call it fate. And like that is such a real fucking thing, you know. For and that's I guess, I mean, also the whole point of our journey too, you know. It's like coming up with all the unconscious things about us and bringing that to light.
Someone said, in a way, I feel like manifesting is like trying your hardest towards a goal. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, that is like a whole freaking thing, because I already talked about this with my community, right? But there's there's different levels of consciousness that exist that you can operate from, and at the lowest standpoint, it's like this victimhood mentality of like, oh, life is happening to me, you know, like fuck. And then there's also next to this like a hustle and grind kind of mentality. It's like, oh, I gotta work really hard and I gotta like discipline and tough work to get my way to my goals. But there's also this level like right above that, which is this like surrender level where you can just flow with the universe. And it's more so like, I would say, being, you know, instead of doing actions that do not align with your way of being, changing your way of being so that the actions that you have to do to reach your goals are extremely easy. But to manifest, you kind of need a balance of hustle and hope. Yeah, exactly, right?
So when we're talking about manifesting, this is like one of the biggest misconceptions is that like you just have to like think about it and feel good and not take any action and it's just gonna happen. That's not really what we mean. Of course you're still gonna work towards your goal, but it's how you approach that, whether it's like from I gotta like get this thing done or otherwise like I suck and blah blah blah, versus when you are truly in that state of okay, this is like I know that this is gonna come true, like that leads you to take inspired action. That always like leads you to take inspired action, because when you think about like okay, what kind of person do I embody if I want to be someone who achieve this goal, then it leads you to taking that inspired action, so you are still working towards it. It's just that it becomes way easier because you are actually embodying that person who achieves that goal. Does that make sense?
You said something there in the beginning part. Fuck. What did you say? There's something there that I want to respond to.
Inspired action. Like it's not about just sitting and like saying it's gonna come and not taking any action. Like
I lost whatever the fuck my thoughts were.
okay. Like believing in yourself and knowing you can do it, that's part of it.
I mean,
for sure.
that's essentially what it is, and that's what we talk about for this entire like life maxing thing. That your entire reality is essentially constructed based off of your belief system. So believing that you cannot do something, therefore makes you not able to do something.
Yes, so to achieve a goal, I need to embody someone who's capable of it first, then do the work to get there. Exactly.
Yeah. And also when you are embodying that somebody who's capable of getting that goal, like the work is just there naturally. You know? You learned about this in psych literally today called promotion focus. That's dope, dude. I freaking love psych.
Yes, faith and confidence are both very important to success. Yeah, like we nerd out about this shit so much because
It's like all we talk about.
because I know it can sound like woo woo to people who've like who are not too familiar with the concept and stuff like that, but like this is so true, and we know this from so many different levels. Like I was a psychology major, and we've like read books about like how this works on like a neuroscience level, even if you don't like consider yourself a spiritual person, how your brain like rewires itself to get you closer to where you want to be. It's all, the concept is very like it's all the same thing. So whatever you want to call it, yeah.
You can be, do, or have whatever you wish for.
I want to talk more about creativity though.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything in your mind? I guess before we get into that, real quick, I do want to open up the floor. If there are any speakers that are on stage that had questions, I know Mara, you might have had questions before. Will might have had questions. I feel like Angelix might have had something. If you guys want to share, like.
Well, earlier when you were talking about your lyrics, I just wanted to say the whole what was it? The muse thing, like just that line is like literally, I don't know, I feel like it's so genius. Like I because like if you think about it, every single thing in your life can be a muse. Like that's why I was like, I need to like absorb that and use that in my life. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
And also, Richie, I remember we had talked about the letting go thing. I don't know when you want to talk about that, but
Yeah, totally. I actually do kind of want to like get to that real quick. If anyone else has any other questions, let's I guess if you have any responses, I guess Tamara before.
I'm really glad that like you are getting like you understood the lyric and what I meant by that, because that as much as we just talked about this, as much as like we focus on like feeling good and taking care of that internal state, there's a distinction between that and like toxic positivity. And I really care about like not just promoting like be positive all the time, like if you're feeling sad, just like think positive thoughts, right? Because like I understand that that's really hard. And so um yeah.
Sometimes you need to take whatever you have, even if that is like negative emotion, and be able to transmute that into things. You know.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, so when you're feeling like depressed or angry or anything like that, like uh what you do with this is like you don't try to just say like, ah, I'm just gonna like bury it because I know I'm supposed to feel positive, right? Like what you do is you really sit with that feeling, feel it in your body, and just like really let it just like be processed. And I was just telling my brother to do this because he sometimes gets really annoying at like little things, annoyed at little things. And yeah, when you like really process it, whether you can do it by like really sitting and like feeling it in your body, but even transmuting it by like journaling or making it into like an art form, whatever it is, every emotion is a useful tool. So
Mhm.
Um,
I guess real quick, if anyone else has any questions that they want to ask Yuna that are here on the stage. Oh, Cosmic has something?
All right, so I've like written down some stuff as the conversation went. Just
Oh,
two quick things.
you're writing stuff.
taking notes, let's go.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
All right. But my first one was: are there any times you had creative droughts, and if so, how did you get over those creative droughts?
Whoa.
The good old creative block. Creative drought. That's a cool phrase. Um, creative blocks. I think creative blocks or creative droughts happen the most when you're like not creating every single day.
Mm.
Um, I think it also can come from like you overthinking too much and being a perfectionist when it comes to like, okay, like I have to make like the biggest hit song I've ever made, so I'm gonna like do that right now. And that's like so much fucking pressure on yourself, you know what I mean? So um when you do that, like it's gonna block like I think the way I think about creativity is um it like basically like flows from like outside of you, like from the universe, from the ether, whatever. And your job is to like really clear the pathway as much as possible so it can like keep flowing. And so to do that, you have to like remove your internal blocks, but also um, like let out a lot of like the bad stuff and the good stuff out so it can keep coming towards keep coming and like keep flowing. And
I think one quick thing that I want to add that you do mention that we talk about is also creating the bad ideas and letting those flow out. Like I think that's what you also mean by like letting the good and the bad flow out, right? Because like especially as perfectionists, we're always so obsessed with making the best fucking thing possible. But if you're constantly focused on that, if creativity, as you say it is, and so many people have said, is like something that flows through you, then if you're not letting these bad ideas out, then the next set of ideas can't flow through you.
yeah, so if you think of yourself as like, I don't know, like a sink drainage or something, if there's like gunk out there, you got and you pour water, the bad stuff needs to like come out first for the water to get clear, you know? So sometimes if I'm like completely blocked, um, I've heard from other people too, like be like, okay, I'm gonna intentionally like write the most terrible song or something. You know what I mean? Or just like make it, just do something like that where you're giving yourself permission to make something bad. Like no one else needs to like hear it ever, but just like do it so like it's being let out. So that's a good one. I think the first thing I said, which is like if you're creating every single day, um, then you're way less likely to experience that blockage because one, there's like less pressure, and also because it's like working out, like it's way easier when you go to the gym every single day versus if you take like a month-long break and then go back to it. It's always harder. So that's another one. Um, I also think that like if I'm blocked, I like to listen to like artists that I really admire, and like maybe I'm not completely in like the creative mode myself, but I can be in a student mode and just like really study how other people who I admire are created their work, and there's so many different ways. Um, so that's another thing, but also like mindless consumption is bad, but like if you're consuming with the intention of like, oh, like inspiration is everywhere. I love getting inspired by like watching different movies or even TV shows and stuff like that, and uh, then
yeah, just being able to like consciously consume.
yeah, and then another thing is, I guess that's like more practical for music, is um, sometimes when you have like no boundaries, that's when you are like, I don't know what to do with this blank page, blank canvas. So whether that's like drawing or making music or whatever. So um, these my artist friends, for example, that I know who are doing pretty well, they their entire thing as a duo began because they were like, you know what, like we can go anywhere with our music, but we're gonna only use our two electric guitars and just sing in falsetto. And that's gonna be like our entire sound. And when you have like constraints like that, now you have some things to work with.
Something to play with, because when you have no direction at all with creativity, it's almost like too much. It's like too blinding, like how much free will there is, you know? But when it's like, all right, like let's put some rules on it, it becomes that much easier to create something. Like I just had to write a script for like an ad or something right now, and like I would have not come up with that on my own, but the fact that I had boundaries to play with, it was like, oh, like I have like it gives me direction to go through.
Yeah, like your last
Yeah.
yoing woing.
My last freaking yoing woing TikTok was because she challenged me to make something like that.
I was like, make something that's crazy and kind of cinematic and what the fuck, and introduce the character yoing woing.
I was like, all right, bet. And it did well.
I
But yeah.
saw that. That was crazy. It made me laugh. I was trying to introduce you to my friend who also happens to be my distant cousin. Anyways, I was trying to find like one of your like really funny videos. Like, well, all your videos are funny, but like I was trying to find something just like super like Gen Z humor.
Sorry.
And I ended up showing her that, and she was like, what the fuck?
Like, what the fuck did I just watch? But yeah,
Exactly.
like things like that. I always talk about this book with everyone, but The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. Whether you're like a creative or not, like even if you don't do anything that's like art related, I think everyone should own that book. Oh, she actually.
Oh my
has
gosh,
it
it's here. Do you want me to get it?
Sure. Oh, it's up there. It's up there.
Okay. I'm
That
grabbing.
book is just like,
So freaking goated, this one.
yeah, this is almost like a Bible for creatives, because you don't have to like, I didn't even finish this yet, but you don't have to like read this from like start to finish. You can just like literally open to like one page and
Yeah, what does that one say? Many people may seem walled off, but sometimes walls can provide different ways of seeing over and around obstacles.
oh my god, literally what we just talked about.
You can't write that. You actually can't write that's what the fuck just came up.
Yo, that's insane. Wow. Yeah, so like this is one of those books that like if you are going through a creative drought, just open this book and just like go through some random like sentences.
Damn, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got the four-parter answer to that, Cosmic.
Amazing, amazing. What was the book called again?
The Creative Act.
All right,
So
sounds
fucking
good.
good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and do you know who
Yeah.
Rick Rubin is? Rick Rubin is this like if you like look him up, he's like this like guru looking guy with like long white hair.
You ever seen?
older.
Have you ever seen Attack on Titan?
Yeah.
Do you know the bearded Titan that eats Eren in the first season?
Oh.
He looks like that.
I see it. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, he's this like older dude, but he's like a freaking legend who works with like basically anyone you can think of who's like a superstar. Like I don't know, Jay-Z,
Beastie Boys,
Pharrell,
yeah.
like just even Biba Doobie recently.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just anyone that you can think of. His job, he doesn't even play instruments or like actually knows how to produce or anything, but his job. He somehow is just really helpful in studios because he's so tapped in. So people who don't get it are like, oh, he's a like fraud or whatever. But then why does he get invited to like all these studios? He just like
He's just really good at knowing what he likes.
and like he's so intuitive. So like he can be in the studio and like guide people who might be blocked. He just knows how to like ask the right questions and like
Yeah. So now he has a whole freaking book on that.
yeah, legend.
Legend. Did you say you had a second question, Cosmic? By the way, Joybo, I don't know if you're here, but just to let you know your mic is muted. You did say you wanted to speak earlier, but Cosmic, you had another question or what?
Yeah, just one more, and then it was, what is a piece of advice that has stuck with you? And no, that's it. So, what's a piece of advice that stuck with you?
Um, hmm. Like just in terms of being an artist,
Yeah.
I have to think about that a little bit. Let's see,
Dang.
because there are so many, and I'm trying to think of a good one.
There is a lot. I'm gonna shoot one
Mhm.
just like while you're thinking about it. And this isn't like a piece of advice that like has stuck with me, I guess, from someone. Oh, but it's just an idea that's just been out there that genuinely like keeps me going. But it's just that like as long as you keep going, there's no way to lose. You know? That and that I think is the reason why I keep going, and that's the reason why like I don't stop. I genuinely see success as inevitable as long as you just keep moving forward. Um, and even when I don't know what's going to happen next, the fact that I'm moving forward always reveals more and more to me.
Mhm.
But anyways, this
Someone
question
said
was for you.
mine was don't take criticism from people whose music you do not like at all. Yo, yep, that's kind of like what we talk about haters. We're like, don't like take hate seriously from anyone who
Yeah.
you know you wouldn't be friends with in real life or something like that. I think for me, something I think about a lot is just like really not focusing on like external validation and like trying to enjoy the process as much as possible because I really love like watching a lot of like artist interviews and talking about them listening to them talk about like their journey and everything. And yes, we can like have goals to achieve and like get better and better and like bigger and bigger, but if like being famous or being someone who sells out like arenas and stuff like that is your ultimate goal, then when you reach that, sorry, maybe this doesn't have to do with the external validation shit. Oh, it kind of does. When you reach that goal, a lot of artists feel really empty inside if that was like the only thing that you were gauging your success from. I've just like seen too many artists who like achieve their goals and now they're like, okay, now what? I thought this was gonna like do something, but then it's just like,
Oh my gosh.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
I do have my own version of how I talk about
wait,
it.
hold on, let me,
Oh, yeah,
let me
go.
finish
Yeah, yeah, go.
because my thoughts, I'm gonna lose them. um, and then also people who became big, like even SZA, like she talked about like, oh yeah, like when I was first like coming up, like those were like the good old days, and a lot of people talk about like enjoy the entire process because um, once you reach a certain level, like you are never gonna go back to that, right? So as much as I'm like working towards like um, you know, just like getting better and bigger and all that, um, where I am right now, like I know will never come back once I become like bigger. So I need to like I really try to like enjoy where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh, and then also because like if I think about the time when I started, of course it also came with like its own challenges and my self doubt and stuff. But I remember just even like the beginner's joy of like creating my first song or like learning how to learning like the basics of songwriting and really dissecting people's songs, like there was like so much pure joy in that, and I still have that, but it's it's different from like how it was at that stage, and um not in the way that it got like less joyful or whatever, but like each stage and like what you feel and what you experience in that moment is like so unique that yeah, I remember like when I first received a DM from like a fan who wasn't my friend, like my first fan ever, I was like, oh my god, I have a fan, like that was crazy, you know. And so uh yeah,
Mm.
you had something.
Oh, it was just another like interpretation of what you were talking about, but it was, and it's almost like this piece of advice is like you wouldn't understand it until you've seen it for yourself or you've heard it from yourself. But exactly as you said, I've seen people who have thought that the success would have filled the holes in their hearts, you know? And then they end up becoming really successful and they find out that like this, it doesn't do anything. You know, you either keep searching for more or you realize like, oh shit, this wasn't this doesn't make me happy. You know, like it wasn't the success, it wasn't the money. And so if it's not that, then what is stopping you from feeling happiness and joy now?
Mm-hmm.
And so to exactly her point, right? It's like, can you learn to enjoy the process now and not fall into the trap of thinking that your happiness exists later?
One example I love from Kanye West is um, he talked about like how before he dropped his college dropout album, and he was still like pretty not that well known. He was like walking around outside and like going to places like a complete like unknown person. Like he had the freedom to like walk around and stuff without paparazzis or bodyguards or anything like that. And because he already knew how much he was about to like blow up, he was like really took in the freedom that he's able to have as like a completely unknown person, um, and was able to be like, damn, after this album drops, I'm not gonna be able to like have this part of the enjoyment anymore, so like I'm gonna really like enjoy this moment. And yeah, I think about that a lot.
Which, by the way, then also goes back to the manifesting point that we were talking about before, which is how he was like, he had the belief himself that it was like, no, like this is inevitable, that like I'm already going to like win, you know? And so Kanye West, by the way, freaking masterclass on manifestation, dude. Like this guy's uh I do not promote anything that he's doing currently. But Masterclass in manifestation.
You should watch the 3-part documentary on Netflix.
On Netflix, it's so good. She showed. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. She put me on to so much shit. She put me on to so much creativity and so much about like what it means to like push boundaries and really believe in yourself. After she showed me the Kanye documentary, like it really pushed me to believe in myself harder about what is possible for myself. And that's when I started chasing like even crazier goals. Cause I was like, dude, like, fuck, man, like, if this guy had such a crazy belief in himself, like, why not me? You know? But yeah. Does anyone else, by the way, have any questions for YOONHA? Real quick, that are on stage. Will or Angelix or Joyboy.
Why
or
is
anything.
Joyboy constantly loading?
I don't know. I think his camera is just like not working.
Oh,
If you do want your thing to show, Joyboy, I think if you leave the call and then we put you back on stage, your thing will load. But if there are no questions, real quick, is Angelix typing?
Oh, someone said, this might be off topic, but how do you enjoy the little things if you feel detached from life? Is that a quick response?
That could be a quick response. I think along with the detachment, it's also understanding the transience of things. Oh yeah, go ahead and type that, Chris. It's understanding that things won't be there forever, and that this moment in time is going to pass. The moments around you are not going to be the way that they are now, and if you can understand that, you're able to kind of sit with it and just be like, and just experience it with joy, with gratitude. I think that you're able to experience that moment. Oh, here you go. Angelic said, how do you implement creativity into your everyday life when you're so busy and can't really physically like sit down to express it? It's test season for her, and so she can't really go full out with creating her art.
Your everyday life, you're so... How do you implement creativity? Well, I think that even if you can't have like a 4-hour songwriting session or anything like that, you can always find even like 10 minutes in your life to commit to showing up every day, and those 10 minutes of you showing up every day adds up. So like I'm trying to think, like it also depends on like what kind of art we're talking about. But for example, if it's for music, right, yeah, maybe you can't write a song in 10 minutes, but you like I have a lot of like songwriting books and stuff like that, and there are actually exercises where they tell you to time yourself only for 10 minutes and to like write down as many like so many exercises, but like just as many it gives you like a topic, right? Let's just say like Firefly as a topic, and you have 10 minutes and you have to just like free flow, free write about Firefly in the most descriptive way possible, and then when the timer ends, you stop. So there are things like that that you can do for just like a very short amount of time, and when you do that consistently, you're gonna build trust in yourself that like, wow, I'm showing up, I'm like, even though I'm so busy, I'm like still committed and showing up for my creativity and honoring that. And yeah, I would say that that's a pretty good way to do it. I was thinking about this while I was getting ready, thinking about Legos.
Okay.
So like yeah.
What were you thinking about Legos?
Well, you know how much I love Legos. So when you have free time, right, and you want to like do something that is like more quote unquote mindless, than like even just like writing exercise or something like that, if you're like too tired for that, and but you want it to still be something creative, instead of like scrolling on like social media or something, Legos is actually like, it's proven to be really good for creativity. So some like productivity coaches work with like the top executive CEOs and people like that, they I read about how like they would like sit with them and be like, okay, so for 1 hour we're gonna play with Legos, and then the CEOs are just like really confused because they're like, what the fuck, like why am I paying you so much to play Legos with you? But yeah, like the point is that like when you are one, it's like you're doing something with your hands that are very tactical, and like uh there are like no rules when it comes to like what you can create and stuff. So by like playing with something like that, you're kind of like helping rewiring your brain to like bypass your like tendencies to overthink and to be a perfectionist and stuff like that, and just like letting your inner child come out. So I really love any activities that are like Legos or even like doodling, just just things like that where you're not going to be judged by anyone. It's
that kind of
just
just
for you.
opens up the gateway for things to explore, or for them to show up in the way that they need to.
And most importantly, it's you're creating, you're not consuming, you know? So
Yeah. Chris wrote out in his question, this relates to the lyrics YOONHA had, and also from an artist or content creator. I wanted to ask because of what happened recently with the brand, but how can I stop thinking about results when working on a project you put so much of your heart and time in? Because it's something that wraps around my head, and it's all I focus on. That time comes, focus on once. Sorry. Because it's something that wraps around my head, and it's all I focus on once that time comes, when that collection comes, and it doesn't do as my mind expects, and leaves me in a state where maybe this isn't for me and I should maybe give up. So that is a very, very good question. Oh wait, is Trey here? Oh shit, yo, Trey, hop in, dude. Yeah, how do you deal with that, with those moments where where are you going?
Oh,
right here.
Okay.
How do you deal with that when the results aren't showing straight away?
Ho. These are amazing questions. I love talking about these. How do I answer this? I think you gotta think about it as like a marathon and not a sprint. Like I understand that when you put in so much of your like heart and soul into a project, of course you want it to do really well, but your entire, like looking at it from like your entire like career perspective, this project is not going to be an end all be all, right? So you gotta like really think about it as like many stepping stones towards like building your career. And if this project fails, then maybe it was meant to fail, so it like helps you pivot and try something else for the next time around that is gonna completely blow up, or maybe that won't, but like it's gonna, as long as you keep going again, like it's gonna like lead you to the path where like you eventually discover something, right? And also when you completely trust in the universe to like always have your back, you know that if the first, let's say like as me for example, like it took me a while to like get to the sound I have right now. So like my earlier work, it's more like neo soul, R&B, which I still love, but like had I like quote unquote blown up with that specific sound, then I would not have created Unicore, because then I would feel like, okay, I guess like this is what people like and I'm gonna stick to this and this is my sound. So for me to get to this like recent project success, I needed to like, I also don't even consider it like failing or anything, but I needed to like try a lot of random shit and then eventually get to where I am now with my sound. So that's one thing. And then also if you, I have a video I made that I never posted, where like after 1 week of like writing my recent project with my producer and people, I had so much fun creating it, and I was so like just like in love with like what we made, that I was like, wow, I think this is gonna do well. But like honestly, even if it doesn't, I'm so fucking proud of what we made, that it like that in itself is where I like get the most joy from. So yeah, like of course I'm gonna like give it all afterwards in terms of like promoting it and all that, to um try to like have it do as well as it can. But most of my joy really, like, it's cool to see like it got a lot of streams and stuff, but like most of my joy did come from that
the act
week,
of making it itself.
the act of making it itself. So that, and last thing I will say, we are yappers.
You're a
You're a yapper.
Oh, okay, yeah. You had a 4-parter answer, Chris.
Because I'm so fucking passionate about
Yeah,
this.
no.
Oh my god.
Okay. One last thing. If you,
I'm kidding, by the way.
you're
You
not.
can yeah.
I'm a yapper. I get it. If you put in like all your like time and effort to create like one song, and then afterwards you're just like, okay, this has to work, and like otherwise like I'm a failure, and you just like don't move on to like making other shit, then like that song, you're again like putting on so much pressure on that one song to define you, right? Versus if you keep going, like afterwards you completely surrender, like, okay, like I'm detached from the results, and continue to make like more and more songs, then it doesn't even really matter how that first song does, because you're already like, yeah, you like moved on, and you're just like getting better and continuing to enjoy the process. So like even as an artist, when I released my first song, I was like, oh, I was checking my streams every day, and I was like, oh my god, like, is this gonna do well? Like, how are people gonna receive this? But honestly, at this point, because I've like released, it's not even too many, but like I don't know how many songs I have, like maybe 20 or something. But because I've gotten used to releasing songs, like it, like one song's performance doesn't really define me, and like it doesn't really matter to me, because it's I see it, it's like 1 out of 220, or like 1 out of like 1,000 songs I'm gonna release.
So it also kind of makes sense that you have that pressure on you, Chris, because this is like one of his first projects that he's ever put out. It's his clothing brand. And so like I totally understand that, and like it seems like it's like, oh fuck, you know. But coming from people who have done this for a while and have been creating for a long fucking time, I hope you know, and you can really take this to heart, that like the mind likes to play this trick on you that makes you think that your current situation is the end. And so for what it's worth, I hope you know that this is so far from the end. This is only the beginning, and that like everything that you do will be it's what you have created will now serve as the beginning of an entire catalog of your life's work. It will never fucking end. And so like, and as she was saying, you know, where she has this pride like that comes from the act of creating itself, I hope you are proud of what you have created. And I hope you can at least congratulate yourself for taking those steps, because that's fucking huge, dude.
Oh, and like Tyler, the creator's album is like staring us in the face right now. So it just reminded me how you like define the success of your project might not be what, how do I say this? So like he talked about how when he first discovered Rex Orange County
on YouTube.
On YouTube, he had like 100 views or something like that, but one of the 100 people was Tyler, the creator, who saw it. And so then he reached out and they started working together. So
you have no clue who's watching.
In that situation, if you only were like, oh, this failed because it only got 200 people, then like that's so not accurate of like what actually happened. You know what I mean?
It goes beyond just those like little metric values that you can count. One thing real quick. Trey asked, "Can I add something to that, Yuna? If you want to unmute or if you want to type
Yeah.
it, like go for it. Yeah, of
Hey,
course.
hello, can anyone hear me?
Hello, hello. What's up,
Hello.
man?
How's everyone doing? I'd like to
Great.
start off with that.
We're doing great, man. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Just got off work. I'm a little bit late, but
You're good.
better than never being here.
In this little Q&A sesh. You said you had something that you wanted to add on?
Yeah, kind of. I talked about it, like the last call that I was in. It was the attention versus attachment rule, which kind of like separating your attachments from your intentions. So just like Chris wants to make a clothing brand, right? And or was that the one before we were talking about you need to with struggling with results?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your attachment is the results, like the money or like the fame or whatever, right? But your intention needs to be just making dope clothes, making dope shit for people to wear. So if you hone in on that specific thing, everything else that you are wanting, like the money, whatever that you want from this brand, will come unintentionally without you really even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Just really going all in on unfollowing your excitement. And that I think has been a really hard thing that we had to rewire, which is like letting go of exactly like you said, like of the attachments and just being able to pride ourselves by the intrinsic value of doing, you know.
Right.
It's really hard. It's really easy to look at the signs of success and being like, oh, like that's what I want, but like it really does come from the intrinsic work, and if you can find value in that, like your life can fucking change.
Then also I'd recommend like staying away from social media, especially when you're building something like this. Like, yeah, look for inspiration, but you're only gonna. What if people only post on social media whenever they do something big, right? They only post the results, and that's kind of what you start to fall in love with of your idea. It's like, well, I seen this guy make like 100K in 30 minutes. Okay, so like, if I just focus on the results, then maybe I'll get to it eventually, right? Which is kind of the dopamine-esque like way of thinking about it. Instead of just focusing on making cool shit, then the other cool shit will come from the original type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Or exactly as what we were talking about earlier before too, is like you just be the person that you need to be, and then everything else in your 3D reality follows afterwards.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect. You focus on one thing, then the rest of it will fall in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait,
What's up?
kind of unrelated, but I had another piece of advice that I just thought about. Can I just say it real quick? 1 minute. When you are creative, focus on networking horizontally and not vertically. Meaning like people who you want to collaborate with and stuff like that. Of course, like you can look at like as an artist, right? Like, oh, like my dream would be to collaborate with like Rihanna or Doja Cat or people like that who are like already up there. But um like where you are on your stage, focus more on like who else is like coming up, who other people haven't found, whether that's like artists or brands or photographer, videographer, whatever it is. There are other people who are super talented, who are also really hustling to get to the next level and stuff that are going to be the next generation of people who blow up. So that's another piece of advice that's like more practical that I was like, okay, that's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think one small thing real quick, Angelix had something that she wrote. What if you took a break, which is for her YouTube, and when you did so much or you were able to reach high, but it's been falling lately, what should I be thinking rather than just looking at the numbers? Because it's hard to just say don't look at them, but I'm reaching that point where I want to make it my job and not really go out into society to work. Should I probably just continue on and only hope for me to go big again? So hold on, let me rephrase this question. Just like, how do you like focus on growth without like quote unquote like not focusing on the numbers?
because they did well before and now it's like falling.
Yeah. You know what? I think that again too almost kind of goes along with our advice like with Chris. It's like being able to find and to congratulate yourself for the intrinsic like act of doing it instead of like looking at the numbers. And then that way being able to detach yourself from the numbers so you can look at them from like a statistical standpoint of like, oh, this did better, this did worse. And like Trey was saying, not holding that attachment to it and finding the value with just doing it.
And at the same time, like being smart about it too, right? Like, of course, don't look at the numbers after like, I don't know, even like 5 to 10 videos or whatever. But if you posted like more than 100 videos and there's like no growth at all, then maybe there are ways. It doesn't mean that your videos suck, right? It can just mean now you have enough of a sample size to look at like, oh, like maybe I'm not like optimizing certain things enough, or like maybe there are like certain things that I can change to see some improvement. So consistency first, but and like not judging every single like video for what it is, but then being able to like also be objective about like, okay, like let me look at some like videos on like how people get more views and stuff like that. And yeah,
Showing up and being able to make it your identity first, you know, I think just makes things a lot easier.
Felix is here.
Felix is here. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hello.
Speaking of which,
Hi.
we were just in the middle of asking if anyone had questions for Yuna.
You're just gonna put them on the spot.
Well,
I
I
don't know
mean-
if I have any questions.
Yeah, I'll just
Actually I do have a question. I want to know what inspires you to like your aesthetic, because your aesthetic is so cool. It's like my favorite ever.
Yo, we were on a plane ride to Vietnam, and like I woke up and she had an entire mood board on her freaking like thing.
Gotta love Pinterest
For her next
and-
project.
Yeah.
No, Pinterest is actually the best app that ever was created, so I get it.
Oh yeah, like if I had to mindlessly scroll on like one social media platform, that like I don't even know if Pinterest counts, but like Pinterest. Where do I get my aesthetic from? I grew up in Korea, so a lot of like the 2000s like OG K-pop idols and like the stuff that they were trying with their aesthetics is cool. I don't know why, but I'm also really into like vaporwave type of aesthetic and like neon lights. I love like cool lighting, so that type of stuff. Yeah, yeah. It's just like I don't know if I have like one place where I get it from. It's just like certain things I like. And the questions here.
I think one thing before we go into like public questions, Mara, do you happen to remember what that was last week that we said we might talk about on call?
I have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, go do that.
Yeah.
It was
Just
about
like
letting
the
go.
whole like how you like truly like fully like let go of like something or someone, I think is what we were like kind of talking about.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any more context about what it was? Because I think there was something I had in mind at the time.
It's a person.
Oh, okay. Ah, damn it, dude. Fuck. I feel like I had a whole thing. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I wrote it in chat or anything about letting go. I feel like that might be something that could take like a whole call's time to go over.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry we didn't get to that like straight away.
No, it's okay. I can wait until another call too.
But I totally want to like really go into that.
I feel like it's a good thing to go into, honestly. I feel like it'd be good.
I think some of the first things that do come to mind when it comes to that letting go thing is again that it all comes down, if everything is a belief system, right? It does kind of come down to having having this internal belief that you will not be okay if you do not let go of this thing, of this person, of this event that's happened. Yeah, this is gonna be something that we gotta like really go into. There's so much to that. Oh no! I remember what it was. And this is such a simple little tactic that I do want to share for you and for anybody here who wants to learn how to detach just a little bit more. Like, and I had this when I was on call with a friend, and like, her life was like honestly like, it was just going really bad. So to the point where she had to call me, even though like we don't call like that at all. And she was saying, that's orange juice, by the way.
I know. Thanks.
She was like kicked out of her own place, broke up with her boyfriend, didn't have a place to stay, and like was kind of really dwelling on that fact that like, oh, you know, like I was just spent all my time with this person, and it's like, what the fuck do I do? And this in the meantime, until we get into something like a lot deeper about letting go, I do want to try this with you, and I want to know how this is with you. But like, I think first off, let's just take a second to just think about how absolutely absurd life is, and the fact that we're living and experiencing and doing all this stuff. Just like, life is just like really fucking ridiculous. But anyways, one of the superpowers that you have at any point in time is that you can drop things, you know, and even if it's not releasing the entirety of the baggage, it's knowing that you are holding that baggage and that you can slowly let go of it little by little. I actually did this with you before I did it on call with her, the person that we were FaceTiming. But at any moment in time, and I'm so serious, again, to anyone who wants to learn how to detach a little more, is you can just feel the thing that you want to let go of, and just think, fuck it. Fuck it. You just say that to yourself, just fuck it. And I'm so serious, like I want you to actually try that yourself. Like, think about the person or the thing that you want to let go of, and like, maybe I'm putting you on the spot right now, but out loud, I really want you to just say, just fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it.
Fuck it, dude.
Bro.
Yo.
Fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, bro.
Fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball. And it's so like, yo.
I've actually done this before, guys. That's actually so crazy.
Yo.
Like, let go of someone. I've done that, but at a
Fuck it.
concert before. I screamed like, I screamed "fuck you" about my ex-boyfriend at a concert during like an emotional song, and it works. It works so well.
Fuck it. Just at any moment.
Literally.
I need
At
to
any
do
moment,
that
right?
too, because oh my god.
And like, and I'm so serious. Like, notice it like right now, right, Myra? Like, even after just saying those small words for like literally 30 seconds, you're just fuck it. How do you feel right now? Do you feel just the slightest bit lighter? Yeah, like, those little things compound. And for me, learning how to really just say like fuck it, just fuck that shit, bro. It lightened my mood just a little bit, and over that long period of time of just continually just like fuck it, fuck this, fuck that shit, fuck you, and learning to only care about certain things, because you can only care about so much in your life, you know. If you care about everything, then, you know, your attention's diverted and all that, you know. So you have to, you gotta let go of certain things, you know, and just that continual fuck it mentality slowly but surely chipped away and dissipated all of the things that I knew that I didn't need to care about.
Oh, I literally have a tattoo of it's kind of similar. So what?
Show 'em.
I have a tattoo here that I got from Korea
For her
It
music
says-
video.
for my music video Dopamine Girls, and it says "So what" in Korean.
And that's really the mentality that you got to take when you're approaching things from that state of detachment. It's like, so what? And it's for the people who couldn't curse in the chat, right? So what? so what? You know?
Yeah, shit happens in your life, and you think like it's gonna be like the end of your life or something, when something like a little bit negative happens, but just yeah, so what? Like you move on.
So what, man? Like, just keep fucking going.
Yeah. And now I'm getting these tarot readings, bro, that are like, oh my god, someone from your past is coming back. And I'm like, oh,
Oh, no,
I've
man.
gotten it several times too. I'm
You
just
hit
like,
So what?
So what?
yeah, no, I need to just like trust the process. I need to learn how to trust the process.
It's trusting
And
the
I think I
process.
am.
It's trusting the process and learning also to trust yourself, knowing that you will be able to deal with it and that you will be strong when these things come up.
So motherfucking bitch, what?
So motherfucking bitch, what? And remember this too, right? It's like if reality is completely constructed by your beliefs and is determined by what you believe about reality, like why not choose beliefs that will set you into um, a better self? In fact, actually going back to the manifestation thing, take some time. I'm so serious, Mara. Take some time to imagine for 5 minutes what would it feel like to be completely let go of this thing. You don't even have to like actually quote unquote let go of it, but what would it feel like to be the type of person who has let go of this situation? And if you can imagine that feeling, and if you can really embody it, your subconscious is going to be impressed by it and it's going to take it as true. And when your subconscious takes it as true, slowly and slowly over time, it will be let go of.
And when you imagine that, if you are like, oh, I'm just not that person, I can't do it, like, just even for that moment, think of like, I don't know, a celebrity or someone that you really think like embodies like I don't give a fuck mentality. I don't know, Cardi B or someone, right? And just be like, if I were Cardi B, like, how would I like feel in this situation about this? And just like, for that moment, like, put yourself in her shoes and yeah. And then you said like someone from your past is gonna come back to your life. Like, if that's the case, then yeah, maybe that person's like supposed to come back for a bit to either like teach you a lesson or have it like
you.
lead to something else. It might be a positive thing or a negative thing, but overall, it's gonna have an impact that's like, if you really trust the universe, like it's gonna help you grow in some way, you know? So
Fuck it.
Oh my gosh, it keeps not picking me up.
You said something?
Hmm?
Did you say something?
I just said yeah.
Oh, okay.
My computer didn't pick me up.
Yeah.
So I was like, but it keeps doing that, so I was like, man.
I hope that does answer your question though.
It does. Thank you a lot. I appreciate you guys.
Seriously, and I'm so serious. Like this entire week, I actually want you to try that because that's what we've been doing and things have literally been working. You saw the manifestation that I freaking typed into the chat that I just want to share with you. Think about that this entire week. What would it feel like to have been let go of this situation? And like go to sleep thinking about that. Like what would it feel like to not care about this? What would it feel like to feel free? What would it feel like to not have to worry about this? And actually, speaking of which, this goes for anybody here that's in this freaking call right now, right? Anybody who's here in the LifeMaxxing community, who's building something, anyone who's here in the audience who wants to build something for themselves, right? I want you guys this week, this month, however long, just to think about what would it feel like to be the version of yourself that you want to be? What would it feel like to be the version of yourself that passes the next test? What would it feel like to be the version of yourself that's chasing your dreams? What would it feel like to be the version of yourself that feels successful? Because if you can find that now, then that is when everything in the 3D starts to come to you. It doesn't happen when you just do those things. It happens when you be those things.
oh, and another thing about letting go too that I think is really helpful is think about something that you really cared about, that you were like really worried about, maybe a year from now or a year ago or 2 years ago, if you can, and think about how little it matters to you now. This is why like journaling is also helpful, because then you can like look at like the little problems or worries that you had like when like 5 years ago, and then just like look at it from like yourself now and be like, oh, that's what I was worried about, like I completely forgot about that, you know. So a lot of things that you think are like really like the end of the world right now, like you're gonna forget about them like a year from now, and it's not gonna matter that much.
Mm-hmm. Time
Crazy,
time heals, man.
bro.
But
Bro.
you got this, Myra. You got this. You know.
Thank you. The crazy thing is that I met this person almost a year ago. Like literally, we met in March last year, and so I'm just like kind of feeling nostalgic, but I need to just like not be. I don't know. But I really do appreciate you guys.
Seriously,
And
I'm serious. I'm really happy that we could be here for you, and I'm so serious. Like, it's almost like counteractive, but almost not taking it as seriously too. You know, like as freaking Chris said, dude, just like fuck it. You know, like
yeah.
fuck it, dude. Trey said he had a question.
Yes, I had a quick question. So, I make cinematography content on like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and that sort of thing. And sometimes I kind of lose that sense of identity with my content because I see so many other cinematographers as well. And I kind of lose that, okay, maybe what I'm doing isn't working. So like then I'll change it, but it is working, but in my eyes it's not. Right? Because I'm kind of like looking at other people, comparison type of thing. How can I look at content but not lose my sense of identity when viewing it?
Oh my god, dude, that is so freaking tough because like I especially know what you're talking about, like as a content creator and like as somebody who has switched niches, switched niches from like comedy content and then going into like spiritual like content and finding something that works for me. I also have that feeling of like wanting to jump like back and forth with different things. And I think first thing that comes to mind for me, it's like one, finding out what feels good to me, what feels authentic to me, and what like I like at the moment. And one way how I'll know what I like is how did I feel about it before I posted it? Like, because it's so easy to post it and then be like, damn, this shit flopped, this shit sucked. But like, if I can remember that feeling of before I posted it and being like, damn, this is something that made me proud, like, it's probably a sign to keep going, right? The whole part of this life maxing community too that we talk about and I really go into is like learning to follow that excitement, you know? And it's so easy to see to follow your excitement and then like you said, right? It's so funny because you're the one who had the advice too, you know? And like we all fall victim to these things, you know? And sometimes we got to hear it from other people. But it's like, yeah, exactly that, valuing the intrinsic like action of it but not the expectation or the attachment to it. And so then once you can follow your excitement and you know like, all right, this is something that excited me. Oh, you know what I did, Trey, dude, before you were here? I had a manifesto written down that I woke up and I would read every day to remind myself of my new identity. In fact, actually, you know what? Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna get it right now just for you so you could read this shit because this shit is fucking crazy, dude. Hold on. You actually need this.
I need it, bro. Holy, I'm ready.
You actually need this, bro. Hold on, because I
need it.
Because I went exactly what the fuck you're going through, and like brother to brother, bro. Like I need to share this with you because this is so important. Where is it? I'm gonna find it.
I'll get my credit card information. I need it.
Nah, you don't even know credit card information needed, bro. I think I have 2 manifestos, but I need the like first one. I don't even know if manifesto is like the right word. Yo, I got so many notes in this bitch, like about like different like chakras and like what it means to like create like a new environment, all that shit from when I first started this community. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Are you ready for this?
I don't think I'm ready, but I need to hear it.
You're ready for this. All right, all right, all right, like, and this is what I read so that I could like remember my identity, right? I would wake up, I would put my phone, I would put my journal on top of my phone so that I would read my journal before I could even pick up my phone. And then that way, this is what I would read. I have purposefully thrown off my momentum as a creator to prove you can jump into something new with no clue how to do it. Receiving hate or bro fell off comments is the plan. So, when I do make it through my truth, everything will be much more powerful. I've navigated it once, now I do it again to prove exactly how to do this. I will feel fear, I will feel like a beginner, but I'll come back 10x to show you can do anything, and I'm documenting everything to prove this point. If I want the new earth to happen, it has to happen this way. If I went my old route, I wouldn't be building the correct perception to lead the new earth. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting credibility onto my perception and building relationships and really devoting myself to evolution. I let go of my doubt of this path. I let go of my rushed desires. I let go of my ego. I am sure of this path. I am patient in this path. I am egoless. I am formless. I am Richard Sabiaga. I am limitless. And
Bro, I'm spitting. I have no words. I don't know what to say.
and I would these words are so fucking powerful, and like I'm sure you know this, right? Like that's why it's called spelling. It's like you're casting fucking spells with every single word that you speak. And so even though I didn't feel this at the time, reading this over and over eventually led to this point in time where I'm able to say fuck it, dude. Like I know where I'm going. I know who I am. I know what I'm doing, and I can say that for certainty. And because of that, I've rewired my subconscious into the type of person who's going to fucking make it. Because I've done something as small as writing this and reading it. And so like I hope that answers your question. And like yeah,
I have
that's
something else to add to that.
Oh,
too.
go for it, please.
Okay. So I think this is for music and for any other like creative stuff too. When you see other people doing what you are doing, if you like their styles, then there's nothing wrong, or actually it's like encouraged, especially in music, to like try to copy what they're doing, you know? That feels like it's almost like, oh, you should never copy, you should be original, all that, but like you're gonna find out your own like style and your tone and what you like by first like being very okay with like copying other people's styles and seeing like, oh, I kind of like a little bit of this, so I'm gonna like take some influences from that. And so yeah, as a singer, they tell you one of the best ways to actually improve is by listening to people who sound like very different from you, even, and like trying to imitate or sing exactly the way that that person sings. And of course, like this is different in that like this is like more of an exercise, and like I'm not gonna release a song that where like I'm like trying to be like, I don't know, Florence and the Machine or something like that. But that there's this book called Copy Like an Artist.
Steal Like an Artist.
Steal Like an Artist. That's like a really easy read where it goes into this. Especially, I don't know like how long you've been doing this, but especially in the beginning stage, like trying different people's styles is part of the process. And trust that like by trying a lot of different people's styles and tones and formats and whatever, that's the way you're gonna get to your own authentic voice. Because what's cool about it is that like even if you think that you're copying it to the T, because it's like coming through, it's like being filtered through your own perspective and your unique like personality and tone, you're adding something like new to what you're copying. So, and then like if you're only like copying from like one person, that feels like it's like plagiarism or whatever. But if you do that and you are now trying stuff from like hundreds of different people, then that like mix itself plus what you have to offer to bring to the table is gonna very much become your own unique thing.
Right. Because I also have another question, right? So with my business, I currently have taken on 4 clients. I have 4 clients currently, and it is cinema, like videography, ads, photography. Because I do photography and like videography for realtors is mostly where my niche is at, and I've been doing it for a while. Like I'd say like a couple of months, right? Is when I originally started it. And I already made 4 clients, like signed 4 people with no type of results, just the videos on my account, right? But I still get that fear of that my work is not authentic enough. Like it's like they can really just at any point just leave and just go to someone else that's doing exactly what I'm doing. But like but at the same time, I have that confidence that I know what I'm doing is good and what like I'm trying is good. But at this, like sometimes I'll have like the little doubt moments. Like right now, I have to make. Here, let me check on my MacBook because I have to make. I have to make 30 scripts by Saturday.
Damn.
For one client. Then I have to make 25 for the other one. I've done it in less time than I have, right? And I've made them very like value content, but like sometimes I get that doubt. I've made 40 scripts in 2 days.
I think that doubt is pretty normal as a creative.
Yeah.
I think how long have you been doing this?
The videography stuff, I've been doing it for 2 years, but client-wise, 6.
Okay. Well, without getting too technical, I think when it comes to working with different clients, like there is a part of the job where like you have to kind of cater to what they want from you, right? But as you like continue to do this, I think one of the best ways to position yourself so that like they can only get this from you is by really like continuing to focus on the craft and like finding that unique style that like they can't get from like other people, and also by presenting your own style. If the clients are like, oh no, we want like a more like conventional video or whatever, then they can go to someone else. But when you do that, your value just like becomes so much higher, because even when I think about like working with different videographers or photographers, right? Like photographers a lot of them are replaceable if they don't have a unique like way of doing, if they don't have like a specific style, and that's just like the truth. But if you are really known for like a specific thing that's very yours, very authentic to you, then I know exactly why I would come to you.
I think one thing I also want to add for context, by the way, like just so you know this guy's like 18, 19, by the way.
Oh my god.
He's so like, dude, you got so much time to figure out your style. Style, like figuring that out for yourself isn't something that's like, boom, like I have it, For me, when I was making content, I didn't find a style that I, 1, liked, and 2, that worked, and 3, or even a style that I'm using like now, like for freaking 5 years, dude. So just so you know, like it's as I was saying, like it's a long fucking game. This is not the end. Sure, like these clients could also go, but also new clients will come, and more likely so, like those clients will come knowing what your authentic self like is.
But I think like the fact that you are thinking about this is really good.
Yeah. Very, very good. And like those thoughts themselves will set you up for really long-term gains.
Then I had one more.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
Shoot it. She's been yapping a bunch, so it's fine. We need like an offset.
I be yapping to myself though. People think I'm crazy, but it's fine. Anyway, so when it comes to making your own content, right? Like I don't really have like a specific like brand, right? Like I edit and I make the videos how I think it will look good, right? Like of course I have my own inspirations, but like I still have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that I make the video, I record it, I'm like, okay, this shit's gonna be fire. I get in the editing, I'm like, okay, this shit might be a little ass. How do I go about this, right? But then I actually take time away and not think about it, then that's when all the ideas come to me, right? And I think in my eyes, my content not be authentic to like certain people, but like I want to orient it to someone who's like me. But at the same time, I don't know who me is yet. So I can't really make this content for someone that I don't even know, right? Like I don't even know me yet. I just know what I like.
Wow.
So how would you kind of orient that?
Actually, I'm gonna say this: if you know what you like, you can find someone who's like you. I think even that itself, like any information you have about yourself, is a defining characteristic. In fact, maybe even that, making content for people who don't know who they are is also the niche itself too. You know, like anything that you can find about yourself is like it becomes this factor that you can use to define your audience too. And because like you know what else too when it comes to making content, one thing that I like to think about is making content for the version of me like 1 month ago or 2 months ago or 1 year ago. That is like a very easy way to just like consistently think of just like, oh, like what would me 1 month ago want to hear? Because I'm sure, you know, we're both in this freaking self-development niche, right? We're always constantly growing. And so when you're constantly growing, you constantly have these things that you want to tell your old self. Like, for example, me 1 month ago probably can listen a little bit more about like feeling is the secret, and knowing that like by tuning into feeling, you can tap into some crazy manifestations now that my blockages are gone, you know? And that's essentially what I do with this community, right? That's how I always have a bunch of things to say, is because I'm talking about the things that I just didn't know like a month ago, you know? And then also, by the way, one quick thing I want to add in, you said like you film something and then the editing is like kind of like ass or something. One thing that helps with me when it comes to creating that, thinking about the shot list and thinking about like how it needs to be edited, thinking about the final product before you shoot it. So that way when you shoot things, it's like, it's clear. It's like right on there, you know?
I literally thought of that last night. I was like, maybe there might be another way, right? Because because whenever I make videos for myself or my clients, right, I always make SOPs for how I do things. So it's whenever I bring people on, because I do have one editor below me that works with me, then I kind of can just show them that like this is how I do it. You know, I still want you to be creative, go have fun, right? But at the same time, it's just a weird process at the same time, because like sometimes I'll look at a video, have no clue what I'm doing, even with the SOP. But as soon as I kind of stop thinking about it, is when the idea and the editing will come together. And like I have like recording SOP, scripting SOP, editing SOP, like pre-production SOP, post-production SOPs. Like I have everything literally mapped out in front of me of how I do it. But I always get like that kind of, is this really the right thing type of like mental and type of questions to myself.
One thing that kind of comes into mind about, at least just one thing I want to mention with you saying like when you don't think as much, that's when the things come in. I do want to share this. Creativity is such a feeling thing. Like it is such like you can't really like logic your way through it. And you can for a while, but the thing is like then it becomes robotic, you know, and it loses the authentic touch that you're talking about. And so when you take your time with your pieces and you think about it as like, what does this moment need right now? That allows me to create so much better, you know? Because I've had a lot of pieces. In fact, some of my most viral YouTube videos, I didn't know and I couldn't logically think at all about how it was going to turn out. It was my pro gamer video and the LIFEMAXXING video. But the only way that I got to the ending and I knew like how to actually fix it, you know, is by being there in the process and just feeling like, what do I feel like this needs right now, you know? And no one can tell you that but you. So for what it's worth, like, it is completely normal and natural for you to to feel that way of just like, yeah, these ideas don't come like when I think about it too hard.
And then as like people who are into self-development and like optimizing a lot of things, I think it's very common for us to like think about like, okay, am I doing it the best way it can be done? Like, is there a better way to do this? I always think about that a lot too, right? Which is like good as much as it can be helpful, but sometimes it can get to the overthinking territory where it like stops being helpful, right? So even with songwriting or any other things, people talk about like, I think Billie Eilish said this, like, yes, learn the fundamental like basic like rules of songwriting so that you can break it. And that's a really cool way to that we've been approaching a lot of things, is like it's cool to like learn about like different ways of doing things, whether it's like scripting or like how you prepare a shot list, whatever it is, because like they exist since it is like helpful to a lot of people, right? So then you learn and try it, but try it with the mindset of like, okay, if this like doesn't feel right to me, or like if this makes the process like less exciting, or like if it just doesn't work for me, then I'm completely okay to like now tweak it to however like it makes sense to me.
Right. Then okay, last where? So where? Now it has me. Now this talking has had me kind of going on in my mind, right?
You gotta talk about it, yeah.
I had to think about it. Now I'm actually thinking about it. So I have like in my eyes, I have authentic ways of doing things, right? Like how I script my video, how I think about my videos, how I explain certain things, right? Like it's very authentic. It's like I'm thinking about it. Like I'm not watching any type of videos for it. Like the only thing that I use is like out of like what I use is like AI. It's like the only thing that I use that's like not me. So like how can I show this authenticity without coming off as like, way to say this? Like I want to show this authenticity, but like in like a original way, or like a niche way. Like I can make a video like Richard, but maybe I can put a little twist on it to where it's my video. It's like maybe I, said 1-2 things that he said in the video, but it's still my video. Type of thing. It's really hard to explain. It has me. I was thinking, but I wasn't. I was here, but I was.
I think. Well,
real quick. I didn't want to say bye, Chris. Bye, Mara. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for sharing your questions and stuff in the chat. So much freaking love. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
What I was gonna say is, just to start this off, like, even if you are like, okay, I'm gonna make a video exactly like Richie's, right? And you try it. Because you're not Richie, that in itself already, like, means that it's gonna be, you're gonna add like your flavor. You're gonna add your flavor, like, regardless of, even if you're like, oh, like, what else should I do to make it like more authentic? So that's like the baseline to begin with.
Because like things, like everybody has their own unique lens, their own unique filter, and like unless if you're copying things like word for word, that's one thing. But if you literally just take things and regurgitate them in the way that you interpret it, not the way that it's literally perceived, but the way that it's subjectively interpreted through your own lens, it's original, you know? And like it'll show up in whatever way that it has to.
And of course, like, I'm saying that that's the baseline because
Yeah.
outside, like beyond that, right? Like with that in mind, now you can think about like, all right, maybe like at the end, I like just add this one like personal story to make it even more of my own, or like maybe I like color grade differently to make it like my own style. Like there are things, so many things that you can try. And this is not like a one time like try and like you figure out everything, right? It's again like trials and errors.
Yo, really crazy thing I'm gonna add in here that really helps me be my authentic self and shine things through my own filter. All right, this is kind of heavy, but are you ready for this, Trey?
Indeed, I'm always ready.
Indeed, indubitably. Okay.
We looking.
Imagine if today was your last day on Earth, and that after today, you would have like, or actually, either that, or think about it as you've already died and you've given one more chance to live on Earth for one more day, and just to live it as authentically as possible. How would you do things differently? How would you
Everything different.
exact? And if it's everything differently, you follow that, dude. Fucking follow that, because that's how I got to where I am. That's how I got to spreading the message that I'm spreading. That's how I got to creating this community. I have constantly had in mind and thought about, you know, just the fact that this isn't permanent. You know, that like that there is a sorry. It's like yeah, you know, like this isn't here forever. You know, the opportunity to create this isn't here forever, and you can constantly thinking about the ways to optimize the way how you do anything. What's the way I should do this? What's the way I should do that? But when you think about it from the perspective of like this being your last day on Earth, dude, fuck the shoulds. How do you want to do it?
Yeah. It's
That's
like,
how it should be.
okay, like how would I do it if I had all the time in the world versus how would I do it if this was my last day or my last hour, my last 15 minutes, my last video.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes. I think my friend Mino actually has a cue on that for one of his videos. It was like, how would I make this next video if I knew it was going to be my last video on Earth? And like that is such a powerful and like different way to make things, you know? But
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I could help with discovering authenticity. Hope that answers your questions.
That answered the question, like the prior questions and the true questions.
Hell yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right, with that being said, we have been on call for about 2 hours. I don't know how you're feeling. If you want to answer questions still, if you want to go.
We can wrap it up in like the next 10 minutes, but if anyone has like last few questions, is that a question?
It is. How can I start being more productive? I mean, like I used to work out every day, do like skincare, body care, shower often, taking care of myself, but something happened. I got really sick. Ever since then, I've tried to get back to it. I just can't. I really want to know how you do it. Productivity, this shit. For me, it was snowballing the really small things. So this is one of the first lessons that I talk about in the LifeMaxxing community, especially with people who have either like a learning disorder or like some sort of neurodivergency, or if they were a quote unquote gifted and talented student growing up. What happens is we set so high of expectations that we don't actually see where our boundaries lie. So for example, if your productivity consists of being here, like this is like baseline, this is where you are now, and you are like, you know, yeah, this is where you are, but you're comparing yourself to somebody who's over here who's like freaking working 18 hours a day, like obviously, even though you might push yourself here in your boundaries, you're still going to beat yourself up. So you need to see yourself for where you actually are, and you need to congratulate yourself for the extremely small wins. And when you congratulate yourselves for those small wins, those start to build up and pile onto really big things. So if you even just like make your bed, like even like though that might be like, damn, you know, like what the fuck, you know, like that's all I did. Dude, shut the fuck up, bro. You made your bed. Congratulations. You got up out of bed. You fucking drank water. You went for a walk today. Like, congrats, you know? And if you can pride yourself on that, those will snowball. That's my rapid fire
100%.
answer. Anyone else more questions? You woke up today. Let's go. Do you both have any advice for being afraid of growing older, graduating, driving, anything like that? Do you have something?
Afraid of growing older. I think it goes back to just like learning to appreciate every phase of your life for what it is, and like how life is beautiful because of how every moment is here in the now, and then it moves on and everything is temporary. You know, like of course, like our childhood, if you had a good childhood, it can we can be nostalgic about it, and like those were the good old days. But then also think about how like when you were 5 or whatever, you were like, oh, I can't wait to like become a fully functioning adult, or I can't wait if you were in middle school or something, like I can't wait to like go to college and like get out of my parents' place and be independent, or I can't wait to start making money. There's like no matter where you are, there's always like if you're not in the present moment, you can always like romanticize everything outside of your present moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Instead of like appreciating what you have right now without attachment. But if you really start to like appreciate the impermanence and like every stage of life for what it is, then every stage can be really exciting.
Mm-hmm. I think to add on to that, if you are able to seat yourself from the place of consciousness, knowing that you're just witnessing this human body and witnessing everything that it's going through, knowing that everything changes, you have the opportunity to take part of that change at any moment in time, right? Because like life is never going to stop changing. There's always going to be change that's happening. What matters is like, is it going to be change that you decided? You know, and I think that is something to think about, you know. So just keep on, just know that you have the ability to make changes in your life at any moment in time. Let's do one more question.
Mm-hmm. I also have a question. How do I overcome, this is gonna sound weird, but overcome overthinking? Because I overthink a lot to the point where I plan my life ahead for the next 5 years, and then start stressing out when I realize that not all things are possible, and basically stressed out knowing that once I get older, I can't do the things I can be doing currently but don't have the motivation to do currently. This question is all over the place, but I don't know how I would explain it. So yeah, and I like gaslight myself a lot in the sense that I'm like, if I made a mistake, I gaslight myself into thinking that it will be okay even if it isn't. I don't know, man.
Okay, so just a lot of overthinking.
Even this question has a lot of overthinking.
Do you have something?
Let me think. You go first.
I'm gonna say this, and this is something that I say to my community all the time. It gets to a point where even if you think that you're someone who's highly logical and you think that you're somebody who's very intelligent, it actually gets to a point where you cannot intellectualize your next steps anymore. And in the same way how like you cannot, sometimes you can't intellectualize your way into doing something when you're not motivated, you actually also like equally intellectualize your way out of a lot of things, you know? And it gets to the point where sometimes, and not even sometimes, this is actually just a way of being for me now. I'll send you that, Cherry, by the way. It's and this might sound like harsh, but this isn't harsh. This is coming from a straight place of love. Sometimes you just need to tell your mind, just shut up and just live and just follow your excitement. And like that honestly like is very, very scary, you know, but that is what I talk about, what I preach, and how I've gotten to where I am. It isn't by knowing everything. it's not by having an exact clear path and thinking about everything that I want to do in the next 5 years. I've literally just been living in this current moment and just thinking about what does my heart want.
We have a podcast episode on You Are Not Your Thoughts. If you want to check that out,
Episode 3 of Next Stop New Earth on YouTube and Spotify.
We talk a lot about how to detach from your thoughts and all of that sheboing. So check that out. And also, to add on to what he said, yeah, some people talk about like, oh, you gotta have your 5-year plan and think long term. Thinking long term in a way that we talked about before, in that like not every step that you take right now is like the most important thing in your life type shit. In that way, yes, think long term that it's a marathon and not a sprint. But honestly, having a super like over thought out 5-year plan is, in my opinion, pretty useless, because life just like never
Happens.
always goes the way you exactly plan it. And also, if it does, then what's the fun in it? You know what I mean? Like the fact that there's like, yes, unknown is scary, but that's also like what makes it fun. And when you focus too much on like, I wanna like get to this place, but then like I don't know how and blah blah blah. If you focus too much on the how, as a person who's like 5 years younger than where you're gonna be, like that's just gonna like cripple you with anxiety and again too much overthinking, for you to get anywhere. Which is why like trusting the universe and like taking the steps that you can right now with the blind faith is super important, because like so many things, so many synchronicities can happen in between those 5 years to lead you to like where you want to go in a way that like you can't even fucking possibly plan right now. You might like meet someone who completely like changes your life. You might not even like want to pursue the same thing in the middle of those 5 years. Like you might completely like have your life trajectory change, and for the better, you know. So don't stress too much about like, oh, where do I want to be in 5 years. Just like, yes, have a goal, but like,
but don't be so attached to it. It's the attachment to your desires that causes suffering. So also with that being said, like just to add on, like, yeah, you're not supposed to know, because if you knew everything that was going to happen in your life, there's no fun of it. There is no fun in that. So with that being said, we've been here for 2 hours. Did you have more questions you want to answer, or?
Oh my god, there's so many. Wait, let me see.
You want to keep going?
Oh no, let's just do this one last one.
Okay.
I have a question too. This probably has been answered a lot, but how to be more confident in having the feeling of being alone and quiet, but not feeling scared of being alone, if that makes sense. Like I love the feeling of being quiet and all, but the feeling of being alone scares me.
There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Like, and essentially what it is finding connection, right? Feeling connected to something. So you can be alone by yourself, connected to a video game, connected to a book, connected to TV, connected to whatever you're doing, if you're doing arts and crafts or something. And essentially it's learning to connect with yourself. That's the first thing that goes on in my mind. It's just like, it's completely fine to be alone and be quiet. And I've had those moments where I can feel lonely being on my own, but the moment that I'm connecting with myself, I don't feel alone. It's like when I'm listening to my favorite music and I'm talking to myself in the freaking car and I dress nice, like just for myself, and take myself out on a coffee date. Like,
also, you said I love the feeling of being quiet and all,
but scared of being alone.
Yeah.
Feeling of being alone.
Yeah, I mean, it is what you said. If you get lost in a book, if you get lost in your creative process, whatever it is, then you don't really feel lonely even if you're alone. And then when you do feel alone, or when you do feel lonely, go outside and like start like talking to people, and like you like listen to your inner self to know like when do I need my alone time and when do I need my social time.
Yeah. And then I think Trey asked a question about like what um where he should be at what platform, TikTok or Instagram. Instagram for more personal stuff, TikTok for more viral stuff. YouTube for more like complete art forms. Twitch for like parasocial relationships. With that being said, I think we should end this call here. Thank you to everybody who showed up for this 2-hour freaking yap sesh.
Wow, people really stuck around.
People stuck around. People, yeah,
for 2
right.
hours.
I mean, yeah. Someone said here that the call was really whole, really healing, and that is really what I am trying to do with building this new Earth community, right? Like, how can we create this wholeness? How can we create this healing within each other and be able to support each other as a community? Because that's really important going into this next generation on Earth. So with that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for helping and being here in this space and making this happen, each and every single one of you. YOONHA, thank you to YOONHA for showing up, making some time out of her busy schedule to show up and be here on the call and talk with y'all. She's so fucking amazing. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Spotify, Universe, or YouTube, or Instagram, wherever.
Yeah. And so with that being said, if you guys really enjoyed this call, first off, like I said before, this is one of the weekly calls that is held in my exclusive community, the whole LifeMaxxing thing. You can find that in the Buy Programs information tab on the side. And every week we go into this, whatever topics we want to talk about: self-development, spirituality, creation, creativity, mindset, mentality, emotions. And there's weekly assignments there to help you transform yourself into the person that you need to be. Will we see you guys again next month? Yes, we'll be here next month. Or I'll be here next month. I don't know about her. I'll be here next month. And there's an exclusive chat where you can tag me at any time. You can mention me, and I'll be there to respond. On top of like hours worth of freaking content, and all of the calls that we've had are uploaded into a drive. And so finally, if you guys enjoyed like the feeling of this call, and you guys really enjoyed just being here, just a reminder to everybody here that this feeling, like this joy that you feel and this vibration, right, this frequency never goes away, right? Even after this call, every single one of us here have this duty or this ability to spread this joy, spread this light, and have these conversations with our friends, with our family, the people around us, and to inspire and to lift up those around us. And when we start to do that, that is how we genuinely make a real big fucking change in the world. So everybody here, big round of applause to yourselves, big round of applause to YOONHA, big round of applause to the LifeMaxxers that are here. Thank you guys for making this all happen. You guys are all so freaking amazing. And we can really make some big changes in the world if we keep holding this vibration, keep holding this hope, keep holding this frequency, and keep holding this love.
Remember, you are nothing but everything at the same time, like Trey said. Yes, spread the word.
Trey said, man. Yeah, it's all love, yo. So thank you guys for being here. LifeMaxxers, I will see y'all next week. And everyone here in the Discord, I'll see y'all here next month. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.